Okay, so now I'm going to walk you through how to do the investigation. And again, don't forget, you have step-by-step directions on exactly how to do this. So I'm going to kind of follow those directions so that you'll see what I'm referring to. Up at the top, it tells you those same materials that we just went over, what you will need per group, and then it gives you your lab prep. So the first direction says to assemble the ring on the ring stand, which I've already done for you. And then it says to place the funnel inside the ring, and you're going to take your paper funnel, and what's nice is it's closed at the bottom so you don't have to worry about any of the soils dropping through, but you're going to place your paper coffee filter inside the funnel like this. It says to put on your safety glasses because again we need to demonstrate safety with any of our investigations, so you want to make sure that you have your safety glasses on. And it says each group will have their 4 small cups. And actually I'm going to turn it around this way so that you can see. And remember I told you need to number these cups 1 through 4. The reason for that is you're going to actually do this investigation 3 different times. And with each time you're going to be testing for the amount of nitrates that are found within your soil sample. So to have a starting point, cup number 1 is going to be basically just the water. So one of the first things that you're going to do is you're going to take that empty beaker, and again, if you don't have a second beaker, you can certainly use a squat cup. Either one will work. But you're going to place the empty beaker under the funnel, and in the other beaker, you should have poured already or have available for the students to add 200 milliliters of water. And the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to pour that water, all of that water, into the funnel, just like you're seeing what I'm doing, and it's going to filter through that coffee filter and come out the other side. So this is the very first part of our investigation. And once all of the water has come through, then what you're going to do with that small cup number 1 is you're going to tell your students just to pour a small amount into that cup, and that's going to be the first water sample. Now we're not going to be testing that sample, but we will have that one to refer to as we compare it to the other water samples. All right, so I'm going to put that under there for the few little drips, and I'm going to take that water and I'm going to pour just a small amount like that. It doesn't have to be much. And then I'm going to place my empty beaker back underneath there, so that is my control. That is my clean water. Then the next thing that you're to do, and again, each group is going to have a different soil sample. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this first bag here, which is the African violet soil. So again, let's say teams 1 and teams 2, groups 1 and 2 are doing this soil, while at the same time groups 3 and 4 are doing their soil sample, the potting soil, and groups 5 and 6 are doing the sand and soil mixture. It says you're going to measure out 6 tablespoons of your soil sample. So again, you're going to take your measuring spoon, and it can be a little heaping, that's fine, and you're going to add it into that wet paper coffee liner. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and once you get it in, kind of spread it out evenly so it's not clumped up. And so now what you're going to do, or what the students are going to do, is they're going to take that same water that they poured through, and they're going to pour it back into the filter over their soil sample, and again the water is going to filter through, and they're going to kind of pour it around, make sure that they evenly cover all of the soil. And what we're doing in this experiment is we're testing for the amount of nitrates that are found inside these different soils. And again, when you go over the background information about nitrates, students may not actually understand what nitrates are. So this gives you that information, and it explains that they are a chemical compound that contain oxygen and nitrogen, which are used in fertilizers. And they're actually most commonly used by farmers. And they use this to increase their crop yield, and they will add the nitrate-enriched fertilizer to their soil, which will hopefully, give them a better crop production. But the question that we're wanting the kids to test and to understand is, how can too much nitrate-enriched fertilizer be harmful to our environment? And so that's really what we're trying to get across to the kids. And so again, you'll go over this background information. All right, so our water has had an opportunity to filter through. So now I'm going to take cup number 2. And what I'm going to do is, again, pour just a small amount of that water into my cup so that that is my first sample to compare. And what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your 3 nitrate strips. Since you're doing this experiment 3 different times, you need to have a clean nitrate strip for each trial that you do. What you want to do is, on the first nitrate strip, you can put sample 1 or test 1, you know, so that the kids know this was the first trial. Now here's what's important. When you stick the nitrate strip into your water sample, they say to stick it in for about 2 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, all right. And then it says you need to wait 1 minute, and that's where you'll have your timer, and you will start it, and each group should have their timer. And at the end of the 1 minute, then they will read, compare the color on the color chart to see where does it fit in the order. So right now I'm only about 15 seconds in, and as I look at my strip, I can already see that it is definitely starting to change color. If you look closely, you can compare the one that hasn't been used yet to the one that has. I don't know if you can see that well or not, but the students will be able to see that. And we're about halfway there. We're about 35 seconds in. And then what the students are going to do, this is their data sheet. And on their data sheet is where they are going to record the results for their experiment. Now, one thing that I recommend that you do with this data sheet, and hang on, we've got about 8 seconds left. I don't want to mess up on my time so that we can read it, is because each group is testing a different soil sample, and stop. All right, so here's my color, and what you're going to do is you're going to match it up to the color chart and see where it fits, what number.